Hello everyone, welcome. It's me, Jeremy Jacobs. Another Few Minutes Friday, coming to you live, not live. Coming to you live, not quite live, from Brighton and Hove. A sunny day down here on the something of October. I can't remember the date. I've had a very full-on week. And what am I here to talk to you about this week? I am talking about compare and despair. Compare and despair. What is that? Compare. I look at someone's life and I despair. Oh, you've got an amazing life. Oh, you're so beautiful. You're so thin. You're so buff. You're on holiday. Oh, look. Oh, all that noise that goes on when you're looking at your social media post and comparing yourself to other people and then despairing that you haven't got it, you're not successful, you're not good enough. It's all bullshit. Why is it bullshit? I don't know why I'm doing this kind of operatic talking. I'll stop that now. Why is it bullshit? It's bullshit because when you look at people's social media feeds, you are often getting a heavily edited, heavily filtered view of that person's life. Now, there are some people out there who are happy to share the good and the bad, the stuff that hasn't worked, the stuff that's going really well, and give you a full spectrum view of their existence. But often people are only giving you the filtered bits, and unless you know them very well and you have conversations with them regularly, you're going to get the impression that their life is going really well. I've been guilty of it, and I've noticed myself that I do that myself. I'll only share the good stuff. I'm now practicing the technique of doing both. Well done me. Pat me on the back. I'll talk about that on social media and go, oh, look how so great I am. Oh. So it's really easy in our society nowadays to get caught up in comparing and despairing. So I'm here to talk a little bit about my experience of that and hopefully give you a little bit of a boost to change some behaviour or take some action, or at least just go, yeah, I do that. It's not very nice. I get it. Yeah, cool. So social media gets a really bad rap. It is designed to keep us on the platform as much as possible. If you've watched that Netflix documentary, The Social Dilemma, they talk about stuff which is somewhat obvious, but some of the developers, ex-developers who have developed some of the functionality talk about how, you know, they have very intentionally designed it to keep you there. The reason is to generate ad revenue, to keep people on the site. The more eyeballs they have, the more visits, the more impressions they have, then obviously that generates more, obviously I say obviously, you might not know that, it generates more revenue. And I say obviously, I took that word out because when I used to work in a call centre, we weren't allowed to say the words obviously because it makes the assumption that I think that you should know what I'm talking about. You may not know that, so apologies. So social media gets a really bad rap, and you may notice for yourself that you do that. I know I do that. It's very easily done. The Instagram effect has actually got a name for it, is this idea, and it's particularly prevalent according to research in younger generations who are spending a lot of time on Instagram, and there's huge concern around the impact of it on our mental health. And for me, I'm a big advocate of mental health, of good mental health, talking about mental health, talking about our own struggles and sharing it, and eliminating the stigma around it. There's a lot of stigma around it, but it is changing, and I'm a big advocate for talking about it. And so this is why this particular subject's important to me. So if you didn't know already, you maybe not can tell from just my head and shoulders, I'm a runner. I don't know why that's relevant, but anyway, I like to run, and I've done a couple of marathons, and I shared about them on social media. I was like, look at me, I run a marathon, I'm so great. And yeah, so I've run a couple of marathons, and I remember when I was training for the Brighton Marathon many years ago, someone said to me, it's your race and your race alone, so don't, like I was asking for advice, says don't get caught up in what is going on around you, like focus on your run. And that was a really great piece of advice when I was training and running the marathon, and I believe it's a really great piece of advice for life in general. It's kind of the antidote to compare and despair. So what I notice is, and I still sometimes catch myself doing this because it's a practice to not do this, and I'm human and my brain goes there. And so when I'm running, or when I was running this marathon, I noticed that in the last 2 miles I was exhausted, my legs hurt, and then what I was doing was I was looking over and I was running past someone and going, haha, I'm running faster than you, I'm brilliant. And then 2 seconds later someone would come flying past me and I'd be like, oh no, they're running faster than me, I'm rubbish. And I caught that and was like, no, come on, focus back in, just focus on what you've got to do and bring it back to yourself, because I noticed I was getting distracted. And it's super important in my 12 years of experience of running my own business to practice that on a daily basis in your life. Now, that doesn't necessarily just apply to business owners, it applies to everyone, but I'm talking specifically in the context of running your own business. As a function of working out your business strategy, it's really important to do competitor analysis, look at your competitors, understand what they're up to, what they're offering, or their price. There's lots of factors. I won't go into that, but there's a lot of work that you can do around competitor analysis. But the most important thing is you do the competitor analysis and you go, oh, okay, that's nice, and you do the next company. You do not, I say that quite firmly, you do not, how dare you. I don't want it to sound like a sort of judgment, but it's best, I believe, that's a nice way of saying it, it's best to go, okay, that's cool. Don't make it a judgment about you. And it's so easy to do, and I do it all the time. You look at a competitor and you go, oh, they're doing so well. No. One other thing I noticed around all of that, particularly with companies that are really successful and get there very quickly, when you dig into their story, there's often something behind the story they're not telling you that's helped them get there a lot faster than other people. And before you judge me, it doesn't mean that those people haven't worked hard. It doesn't mean that they don't deserve that success. It doesn't mean anything about them. And sometimes they've often had fortuitous circumstances, or they know someone that's very well connected that's helped them get there faster. That old phrase, it's not what you know, it's who you know, is quite true. Yeah, if you're well connected and you know people, then you can achieve results a lot faster, in my experience. So that plays into it. So I guess the main point I'm trying to say is we are, as humans, naturally wired to compare, analyze. It's part of our brain function. We can't really change that, but what we can do is notice the behavior and interrupt it and stop it before you start to run down the path of judging yourself, thinking that someone else is doing better. Because the thing I also noticed is that things can change very drastically, and the following month or following year, that company that you thought was doing so well and was so much better than you has suddenly gone bust. Something has happened to them. I'm not saying like, haha, you failed and gloat, because that's the opposite side to the compare and despair. Is that's you gloating and saying, oh, fantastic. I guess I'm just saying that let's be a little bit more humble about this. But the main thing really is to encourage you is to interrupt that behavior before you start to make that judgment on yourself. Just because that person or that company or that business is, on the face of things, achieving great things and so successful, that does not mean anything about you. I hope that's clear. I'm going to stop there. Anyway, thank you for listening as always. Please, if you've got this far, I'm going to start offering free cakes to people. Like, I'll give a code right at the end of the video or somewhere throughout the video, so you have to watch it all the way through. I might do that, might not. Yes, but anyway, thank you so much for your time as always. Please do like, comment, share, subscribe. There's a button just below this video somewhere. And I wish you all peace, love and happiness. And until next time, stay safe, stay well. Thank you.